eternal light of God. Exquisite and perfect expression of God. To accept your natural state is the journey itself, the learning of truth, the learning that within the acceptance of your perfection, there is a natural state that is peace and joy and harmony. The truth of peace and joy and harmony cannot be attained without accepting the divinity of God that is within you. And to accept the divinity of God that is within you and that you truly are is to accept all sacred teachings that are the catalyst, the healing agent back to love. To accept the truth that you cannot die, that no one dies, that life is eternal, is to go against all of the identities of separation that have avowed the pain and suffering in what in this world is called death. Truly, the body does fall away. The identity falls away. But in that falling away, the divine spirit that is the truth of your being continues. It's not that the spirit is freed from the letting go of the body. The mind is what makes that decision. To surrender the mind into the hands of God is to free the spirit. That is the journey of surrendering the mind, returning it back to God, letting your entire being return to its natural awareness and state of love. There is no magic that accomplishes this. And in truth, you are and always have been the light of God. And that is guaranteed. That is not something that you are healing or correcting from your natural state. But all the blocks that have been made against the acceptance of your beauty and perfection, those blocks, the I know of this world, is being called to be surrendered. And peace and harmony and kindness are being called to be accepted. To meet your own peace, to recognize the peace that is temporarily hidden from your awareness. It isn't hidden because God made it hide. It is hidden because a thought system took over that said, I am separate. I am without. I am a body. And I have a separate life that is different than others. The ego mind cannot recognize a world, a state of being that there are no differences, that everything is in a rhythm and natural harmony of oneness. Every beloved who has walked the earth in the belief of separation has lived trying to prove not only worth, but in the spirit of competition, has tried to surpass others for a higher place. In the truth of love, there is no one that's going to reach a higher place than someone else. True equality of love holds all creation in the divine equality of oneness. Just imagine the peace that you could live in and will live in when competition has been released as reality. That you could live in peace and have to compete for nothing. That there could not be any competition, any winning, any trying to surpass and prove your worth. This is a place of peace. This is your natural state. In every moment of everyone's life, there is a searching that is occurring. That searching can be a blessed longing that leads you and pulls you toward truth. Or it can be a place that continuously is a disappointment. When the belief is held that you are less and someone else is more, that is the ego's intention of pain. When you believe that you are on the outside looking in and that others have what you don't have, that is the ego's intention of pain. It is a decision for self-punishment based on illusions that have no truth. It's all been made up. Is it an agreement within the world? Yes. The belief in levels and degrees and differences those agreements are strong and determined. And yet the calling of love calls to the oneness of love, to taking the steps of love that says, my heart is not going to compete because there is nothing to compete with. If I offer love to all those beloveds that I am called to offer love to, which is everyone, I am never losing. I am always receiving. This goes against the laws of the world. The laws of the world proclaim that when you give something, you are sacrificing and you are losing. And the only way that you can get something back is to prove that you were generous or magnanimous. The generosity has no relationship at all with the ego. The generosity of the heart is the recognition that as you offer love, love expands. The willingness to accept the expansion of love. Step by step in the everyday life, choices are made constantly. And the divine healing power of creation brings all the sacred teachings that are ever needed into everyone's awareness. You don't have to look very far. All you have to do is have a prayer in your heart that you want to learn, you want to remember, you want to live in truth, and all of the needs for that truth are given. They're given so quickly that many times it's within the same breath. Love never wants to limit or have anyone struggle with truth. Truth is always available. It shows up as soon as it is asked for. Teachings show up as soon as they are wanted. The way of love, the path of love, always presents itself as soon as it is asked for. This is the benevolence of love's offering. No one is ever without the means of remembering. The only element that is blocking is the mind of the ego that has always shouted loudest and first and is used as a distraction from truth. And for this, every beloved is asked to recognize the lies of separation. How do they show up? They always show up as confusion. They always show up as I know. They always show up as complexities. And they always show up as comparisons. You can be guaranteed that if your mind is in a relationship with comparisons, comparing yourself, comparing others, comparing anything, it's the ego's domain. When there is confusion, it is always the ego's domain. There is no confusion in God. Every truth comes direct and is clear. You can make confusion out of it, but that means that the ego has decided it's taking charge and it's been given permission. Love always speaks softly. Love always whispers. Don't listen to the first voice that speaks loudest and first. Wait with patience for the soft, gentle voice of truth. It will come because it's already here. The more that you refuse to listen to that loud voice that always says, I know, the more that you refuse that old relationship, the more you'll be available for that soft and gentle voice of love that waits underneath. The guidance of love calls to you. The guidance of love is everyone's way. Every beloved has available guides that want to serve love's remembering. Communicate, open your heart, open your mind, and invite in the divine guidance that will lead you so easily. As you listen to guidance, as you open to guidance, you learn to rest in God. That you don't have to fight or defend anything, but just to follow. And how easy is it to follow? It is extremely easy when the resistance of the ego has been refused. The ego's favorite place is, I know, and I want to be in charge. But to step back and let love lead is the easy, restful place. Returning home to your natural state is not a battleground. Leave all the battles. Leave all the worries. Leave all the concerns. And just come empty. And listen to that gentle calling that will always steer you, lead you, and comfort you. You are surrounded by the vibration of love, by the guidance of love, by the blessings of love. Let it all in. Be available. It is your natural state. When you allow guidance, you're connecting with the truth of who you are. All the divine beings that want to guide you and lead you are an element of your divine self, because everything is just one. It isn't your ego self, it is the divine self that is the divine aspect of each divine being. You are already that. And just because everyone forgot doesn't make it less true. You are the light of God. Open and receive and allow. Moment to moment is the choice. I was referring to some beloveds who were teenagers, and how easy it is for teenagers to, because of age, to be caught by the shiny objects of the everyday life, wanting the shiny draw. How easy is it to have these shiny objects be what you're drawn to? But the shiny objects are just the temporary fascination with the manifested earth plane of form. What your spirit is seeking is the deep vibration of love that is permanent, the joy, the harmony, the light that is the permanent state of being. Let go of the fascination with the shiny objects. The shiny objects are not just material shiny objects. They're the shiny objects of being right, the shiny objects of being successful, winning, proving, and getting in this world. When you believe that you are less than the light of God, when you believe in your identity that you have made and that is temporary, when you believe in that identity, you're going to be trying to prove your worth, because you're going to look at that identity and see it as damaged, less, unfinished, unworthy. That's the ego's domain. Why do we need to reject that identity? Because it's a lie. Your worth cannot be manipulated, manufactured, or increased. The true identity, which has nothing to do with the identity of what has been made in this world, is perfect, whole, complete. The power of the universe is in that true identity. Your divine spirit is God's light. You can't improve on it. It's already perfect. So the entire life idea of improvement is what you're being called to surrender. Does that mean that you just are living like in a coma? No, you're living in love. You're living as love and offering that love. There is a confidence of love that becomes your awareness as you say yes to love and accept that only love is real. To have the confidence to express that love is to truly be the servant of God. Imagine your life never again apologizing for anything because you're only offering love. You have no thoughts anymore of judgment, of opinions, of assessments. You have no hidden agenda anymore of greed or jealousy or lack or proving. This is where freedom is. The relationship with trying to prove your worth has no freedom. It's a vicious cycle that very much looks like a hamster in a cage, making the same circle again and again, trying to prove worth through whatever means you can conjure up, but always ending up feeling without, disappointed, rejected, and alone. There's no love there. But you are that love. Reject the battle. Reject, not with anger, but with the realization it has no truth. And it is not the truth of you. You are the light that God created. You are the perfection. Now, that goes against everything that the mind and the past is expressing. It goes against everything that the ego wants to say is real. You can turn away from those lies and turn to love. This was the great teaching of Daniel in the lion's den. Daniel in the lion's den turned away from the lions. And that symbolically was turning away from his ego and turning toward the light of God, focusing all of his attention on the light of God because that was his home, that was his reality. And he was no longer going to fear the lions from the past. He didn't have to battle with the lions. He just had to turn away. If he tried to battle with the lions, he would be believing that the lions were real. He would be giving the lions substance. When you turn away from the ego, you're saying, I'm no longer interested in illusion. I'm no longer interested in false living. I want to live in the light of love, where I truly belong. And in that declaration, love serves you. In that declaration, in your yes, all the help of the universe is yours. All the light of God answers your wanting of healing, of remembering. There's nothing to fight for. It is who you truly are, resting in love, resting in God, accepting. And in this moment, accepting. With the center of the heart, that there is only one beloved in this infinite circle of love. Within this infinite circle of love, all is equality. There is only one presence in every moment, and it is the life force of God. The life force of God is the only truth of creation. Nothing else exists. This universe is all love, again, an acceptance. It isn't what's known in this world, but it has to be accepted. This universe is all love. And this sanctuary is filled with love because only love exists. Accepting, allowing, and resting as the light of God. As you invite in the light of God and are willing to accept this into your heart, love speaks to you, and love heals because you have invited love to be remembered, remembering the truth of love. In this moment, allow this prayer to truly open and continue the healing that you truly want. Allowing. Over the mountains of despair, we will rise above. Over the heartache and the pain, upon the wings of love. The healing of our savage heart, gently by the dove, miraculously transforming us upon the wings of love. Terrible mistakes we think we've made, regrets we've undergone. Sometimes the hopelessness makes us forget the sun at dawn. All delight and joyousness, the tender mercies of Jesus, who carries our burdens upon the wings of love. Jesus, who carries our burdens upon the wings of love. Upon the wings of love. There's no concept in the ego life that has a relationship with the wings of love. That all of the lies that the ego has made up in the mind could be carried away by the wings of love. That all the ideas of making terrible mistakes, to realize that they can be carried away every moment because they really don't exist. You cannot change the of love. All the heartache, all the pain that humanity has carried can be unburdened from your heart immediately in every moment by asking with the willingness of the heart to be released from all concepts of separation. The healing is real. The healing is available. The healing is now. On the paths of God, the truth of love opens our hearts so that we can remember that we are love. On the paths of the truth, every beloved is called to pay attention so that we can all together raise into the vibration of love and praise from the heart. Let us all surrender to the heart of the Divine Mother. This is the moment of humility, of forgiveness, and of true charity. Let us all move toward the truth. Devotion to firm the charity of love, to follow the truth, all of us united, all of us learning to sing and dance so the divine will materialize on this earth plane. Let us all go on the path of love, living in faith of truth, remembering the truth of all divine beings. Oh, my Divine Mother, you are my comfort. You bring love and faith and health so that we can all remember the oneness. Nos caminhos do Senhor, Jesus Cristo Redentor, abriu nosso coração para podermos seu amor. Nos caminhos da verdade há que prestar atenção, para estarmos todos juntos para louvar o coração. Vamos todos nos seguir nesta hora da verdade. Demos o santo cruzeiro para afirmar e caridade. Vamos todos nos caminhos, Jesus Cristo Salvador, vivendo de nosso fé aos pés de Cristo Redentor. Ó Virgem Mãe Divina, vós sois o conforto meu, dai amor, fé e saúde para podermos chegar. Living in faith, living in truth, and wanting only the truth to be in the center of awareness. This is the way of love and the way of peace and the way of joy. The easy road of love. The faithful lover. The moon came to me last night with a sweet question. She said, "The sun has been my faithful lover for millions of years. Whenever I offer my body to him, brilliant light pours from his heart. Thousands then notice my happiness and delight in pointing toward my beauty. Hafiz, is it true that our destiny is to turn into light itself?" And I replied, "Dear moon, now that your love is maturing, we need to sit together close like this more often, so I might instruct you how to become who you truly are." The faithful lover is the guidance of love. The guidance of love is a faithful lover because it doesn't want anything in return. Its joy, its love, its light is fulfilled in service to remembering. When you don't ask for help, you're not fulfilling your part of the devotion. Love is constantly wanting to show you the way of truth, show you the way to deeper faith. There is nothing that is ever kept from you in truth. Over and over and over again, love will not only open all the doors and the windows for you, but it will show you clearly what's in the way. Now, if you don't want to see what's in the way, then that becomes the wrestling match. That becomes the battleground. The fear of seeing what's in the way is the fear that what you thought of yourself in the past will be shown to you and you won't be able to stand it. But everyone in the spiritual journey has a place of truth that must be met. And the meaning of it is so that all of the lies can really be released. And they have to be released. They have to be illuminated because they're hidden. We, in the belief, when we are in the belief of separation, every beloved plays a game. The game that they play is to have secret thoughts and secret ideas that are even somewhat secret from yourself, but yet they still run. For example, if you are secretly comparing yourself to someone else, and in that comparison, you are in resentment for what you believe is a comparison of another that makes them have more worth than you do, but you want to be the one that has more worth. All of that is an illusion that is calling to be healed. It's not the truth of you, and it's not the truth of anyone that you're comparing yourself with. There can be no comparison in love. And that illusion of comparisons stands in the way of the truth of who you are. The faithful lover realizes that the sun offers its heart and doesn't try to compare itself with the sun, but accepts the sun's healing love. If you find yourself secretly jealous of someone in those comparisons, it's a place of self-pain. It's a place that you are making painful when it has no reality. So to invite the light to shine on all of the lies that are made up that impede the journey of love is actually an act of love. Don't shy away from having the light shined on the mistaken identities that you've developed. They're being called to be disintegrated because they have no truth. To live without jealousy, to live without comparisons, to live without greed or anything else that the ego can make up is to come toward freedom, to be unburdened, to be shed of the made up identity that has no reality of your magnificence. Hafiz, in his awareness of love, in his 40 years with his teacher, of learning to love, was an invitation for that remembering of love through his teachings. And there was always a readiness. With every master, there's always a readiness to serve, because it's so easy to let the lies disintegrate. You don't have to figure them out. You don't have to pick them apart or be ashamed of those secret thoughts. They were all made in an erroneous belief that you were without. They have no truth. And the quicker you can surrender them and let them be illuminated so they can be truly forgiven from your heart, that they meant nothing. And every beloved that you may have held in a jealousy or envy or greed or anything else, it's time for forgiveness of, this beloved is one with me. This beloved is the light of God. And anything that I thought I knew about them was just a fabrication that I no longer am willing to hold. I'm willing to be free, and I'm willing for every beloved to be free. The faithful lover recognizes the offering of love and nothing more. Is the sun complete without the moon? No. They're one. Allowing that oneness to be that there's no competition. There's nothing to try to get from anyone, only to offer love. Every moment, offering love. The sun has been my faithful lover for millions of years. Faithful lover. Now, everybody in the world has a concept of what a faithful lover is, that it means something about having to devote to one. No. Your devotion is complete with everyone. Your devotion is to all creation. Love is faithful. Love is devoted. And your own devotion to truth and to love is what you're being called to. And as you move toward that devotion of love, deeper and deeper than you thought maybe was even possible. I remember in the journey of love thinking, I can't go deeper. I'm gone, I'm deep. And then I would hear the voice of love saying, deeper still. There's no knowing of how deep to go. Just allow. Allow and say yes. And let love take you. Let love open the doors constantly to go deeper and to stay in the not knowing in every moment that you possibly can. Don't be afraid of the depth of love. Don't be afraid, and don't limit yourself by saying, I want to stay in control. Don't worry about control and love. Love is not going to take you someplace that isn't most helpful. Just allow. Allow the depth of love to continue to open for you. Continue to open to the not knowing, deeper and deeper. Whatever shows up in your everyday life is perfect. There's a beautiful teaching. It takes great learning to accept that all things and events and circumstances are helpful. How are they helpful? They're helpful because within each circumstance, within each day, there is a learning. That's all. There's no good or bad to it. It's just a learning. And when you're available for that learning, love can lead you deeper and deeper into love. That's the learning. To be able to see what has been believed by your separate identity, that all of the past is being called to be let go and healed because it has no truth to it, and that you won't be without. You will meet the faithful lover. You will not be without. All that you can possibly let go and surrender into the hands of God is what's been made up. That's what you're surrendering. A past that was fabricated in the name of separation. What will you do without what you think you know? You will sing and dance. You will taste the freedom of love because that's your natural state. Without the belief of differences, lack, time, levels, degrees, all of it, let go. All of it, not the truth of who you are. Love is calling you. Love is calling you to recognize that you do not perceive your own best interests in the everyday life. Why is this so important to recognize that you don't perceive your own best interests? Because the knowing of the ego is so determined to be in charge in all of the ways that it possibly can be in charge. And when you accept, I don't perceive my own best interests, it's a call for love. It's a call for help, that if your mind is in charge of your decisions on your own, you are not perceiving your own best interests. You are not perceiving what is going to be most helpful for you. You're not aligning with the help that is truly available to you. You're not open to the faithful lover of God that is wanting to guide you and show you the way to deeper joy, deeper love, deeper harmony. The weird thing about the ego state is that in the depth of the ego state, there is no recognition that there's anything other than business as usual. When you incarnate into the belief of separation, you see everything as normal. You believe that life is a struggle. You believe that life is difficult. You believe that whatever is happening to you is somehow regular, normal. But within each beloved, there is a calling that's already established that is calling you to recognize this can't be the truth. What is all this suffering about? What is all this battle about? And then the spiritual journey begins. And in the spiritual journey, it's the denying of what you thought you knew from the past. The ego wants you to believe that when you admit that you do not perceive your own best interests, that you are being disloyal to yourself. But in actuality, you are being disloyal to the ego identity. And to be disloyal to the ego identity is the helpfulness. By being disloyal to the ego knowing, you're turning away from your own knowing, and you're opening to the faithful lover of God that is wanting to bring you to truth. And how are you brought to truth except through your faith? The faith that you cannot be that battleground, that you cannot be a body that is going to die, that you cannot be filled with battle and pain and be in truth. The joy of the heart is waiting to emerge from its sleeping place, from its place that says, I am alone and I am without, and I have to prove my worth. None of that is reality. But to accept that is to turn away from the ego and deny its legitimacy. The ego is not something that is happening to you It is something that has been made in the mind of being split from God. It is not your friend. It is not your ally. It is a distortion, an illusion of separation. The addiction to wanting to judge anything on the outside as the problem is where all the pain and the battle stays. You are not damaged. You are not your identity. You are not needing to prove your worth. But to give that up, you have to accept the way of love. You have to open to listen and be shown the way of love. And love will always show you. Love will not leave you on your own. Is it a development? Yes, it is a development. Is it an addiction to the ego that's being called to be surrendered? Yes, it is an addiction to the ego that's calling for surrender. To surrender the ego is to surrender your old identity. I don't know who I am, how to look on anything, or what anything means. How can you live in what would you have me do? Can you ask that question to the divine? What would you have me do? And will you accept the guidance of that direction? Love will answer and love will direct. It's not a trick. The ego is full of tricks. The truth of love has no tricks. It's straight truth. Where would you have me go? Show me the way. What is most helpful? What would you have me say and to whom? In that acceptance, you're opening to the vibration of love that will spark the memory within you of your true self. When you hear the guidance of love and you ask the question and want to be guided, you're making a deep connection that this is your vibration. Is it familiar? No. Most of the time it's not familiar. You're familiar with the ego's vibration, but love is calling you to God's vibration. Don't be afraid of that vibration. Don't be afraid to be led. Don't be afraid to have love lead you. It's the only way. You push away the heart when you listen to your mind. That is what has to happen with the ego mind, is every time that you have personal thoughts, you push away the heart. You're not available to the love that you truly are. And the love that you truly are is so magnificent. Everyone is waiting for that love. Demonstrate that love. Express that love. Learn to express that love through love's calling. Don't be afraid to open your heart and express love, tenderness, kindness, gentleness, charity, patience, all of it. It's all the aspects of love. Open the heart. God and all the light of love will lead you. if you allow yourself to be led. To accept that you are very holy and that you gave your mind to God is where you end up resting. Rest in that truth. Rest in love. I am very holy. I gave my mind to God. This is not a declaration of arrogance. This is the humility of the acceptance of the natural state. You are very holy. You are the holiness of God. But how can you know that holiness without letting go of the false identity that's blocking your awareness? So both elements are occurring at the same time. You're surrendering what you thought you knew, and you're accepting the truth of your holiness. It's not too much, it's all guided. But this is the way. The way is I surrender. I surrender everything I thought I knew about how things should be. And I deeply accept that I want to open my heart and express that love. When you're not connected to your heart, that is your suffering. Because your heart is your natural center of life. The heart that is within you is what connects you to all creation, because there's only one heart. Open your heart. In your defenselessness is where your heart is and where your safety is. Is there anything to be safe from? Not really. It's all just love. But when you have believed that you have to protect your heart, you've built a idea of needing safety. And the true safety, the true natural place of your life is in your open heart, undefended. Nothing to prove that you're right about anything, nothing to have to win, nothing to prove at all, ever. Undefended, open, available. Your natural light, your natural state of love, the way of love. Faithful lover. How do you see yourself? Do you see yourself with the generosity of your heart? Do you see yourself as peace and harmony and joy? Begin to see that light that you are. Want to see that light. Ask to see the truth of who you truly are. And at the same time, surrender all the aspects of who you thought you were and surrender them into the hands of God. Open to the divine patience, charity, and gentleness that you are. Develop that truth within yourself. Not by yourself, but show me in this schoolroom of love the truth of patience. Show me how to express patience. I don't know. Show me how to be patient. I don't know. I'm willing. I say yes. And in that, the sun that is your faithful lover begins to glow from within you, because you're one with the sun. You're one with the moon. You're one with all the stars. You're one with all creation. There's nothing missing within you. Open to that divine light that you truly are and accept your holiness. Accept the beauty that is your totality. Pure light. pure love, pure truth, eternal, heart of God.